glorious dream. How reluctantly I open my eyes and re-enter this damaged world. Look at my valley, now nothing more than a twisted ribbon of ruin, and yet, despite this devastation, my heart beats with a lightness it has not felt in many a year. Cassandra the Doomsdayer, the villagers call me. You've probably heard those whisperings, but I have only warned of what I have foreseen: drought, fire, sickness, and most recently, flood. Those events have all come to pass, it is true, but that is no fault of mine. I simply divined those calamities. I did not create them. But finally, on this sun-blessed morning, I have cause for hope. Ironically, when at last I find myself with good news to share, there is only you left to hear it. So what did I dream, you ask? What vision has left me, Cassandra the Doomsdayer, brimming with optimism? Well, last night, curled snugly between you and the fire, I drifted into the most serene of slumbers, and in my dreams I saw our valley peaceful and fecund once more, and in this paradise I beheld you and me, laughing and gambling with the most delightfully free-spirited mob of unicorns! Mark my words, this is a new dawn for all creaturehood, but most especially for the misfits and the dreamers, like you, like me. This is as sure as I stand before you, for I foresaw it. There is naught to do but start over. Everything's gone. The houses, the shops, the pigs, the goats, the market gardens, the people too. It's as if an enraged God threw a muddy blanket over the whole valley. But I am not shocked by the sight of our normally peace-loving river bloated and stained with death. It is exactly as I provised no less than a fortnight ago. If only the village folk had heeded me. Just this once. But that is my lot, blessed with the gift of prophecy, cursed never to be believed. Did the mayor think of me as that wall of water ripped him from his throne and swirled him into the street? Did he recall my warnings as he was dragged and dunked and dunked and dragged before being sucked under by the raging torrent? Was his dying thought, if only I'd listened to Cassandra? Alas, I suspect not. I'll bet a pound of gold that the mayor's last words had naught to do with me. More like, oh, why did I not think to enroll my beloved unicorns in swimming lessons rather than yielding to their frivolous demands of pedicures and tarot readings? I know you considered the mayor to be a friend, so please do not think I am delighting in his demise. The truth is, even had the rains bypassed the valley, the mayor would not have lived to see the spring. It was clear to me when I visited him Thursday last that, like so many of the villagers, he had succumbed to the virus. All the telltale signs were there. His cheeks the colour of sugar beet, his forehead rippled with pearls of sweat, and that hacking cough loud enough to deafen. Yes, he was doomed, though he did not yet know it. But do not fear. I did not succumb to his contagion. Recognizing his state, I took great pains to protect myself, standing 6 feet from his throne and covering my mouth and nose with a mask as recommended by health professionals. I always make a point of listening to the advice of experts, knowing better than most the disastrous consequences of having your wisdom ignored. As well as being gravely ill, the mayor was also starving. Oh, how his eyes sparkled when they lay upon the gift I had brought as a symbol of my goodwill. A crate overflowing with rice, flour, pasta, and topped by the most in-demand consumable in the valley, a bottle of kombucha, which, as you know, is the drink of choice of unicorns. At that moment, I had dared hope he might believe my prophecy this time. After all, I was the only one in the village whose pantry was so bountifully stocked. I presume that, like many villagers, he had resorted to eating grass shoots and wiping his mayoral backside with lily-pilly leaves. I did not see you at the mayor's residence that day. You must have been secreted in an antechamber or concealed behind one of the marble statues. But you must have been there, because if not, you wouldn't be here now. So you know that the warning I gave the mayor was unequivocal. A great flood was coming, and the villagers must evacuate to higher ground forthwith or perish. I'm guessing you snuck away at this point to pass on my warning to your friends and family, and that you did not hear the mayor's response. Alas, it was no surprise. He waved his arms about and shooed me away, insisting I spoke nothing but nonsense. How can the villagers fear flood when they have been on their knees praying for rain for months? He told me he was fed up with my bad news. Drought, fire, viruses, etc., etc. Said the valley had suffered enough, and that I should come back when I had some more pleasant predictions. In desperation, I played my final card, foretold that his favourite of all creatures would be wiped out by this imminent flood. He wasn't having a bar of that. Gave me the usual lecture about how his breeding program had rescued the unicorn from the brink of extinction. Boasted that he had over 200 unicorns in his back paddock. Then told me I was a ridiculous woman and that I should run on home and do something useful, like cook supper for my husband. Cook supper for my husband. As if a sensible, independent woman like me would demean herself with a husband. So I hurried home, took my leave, and started packing. Rest assured, you and I will not go hungry while we wait for the waters to recede. The mayor did not believe me, just as your loved ones clearly did not believe you when you passed on my prediction. For had they believed, they would be with us now, enjoying the safety of this tour. Instead, it is just the two of us. But I must say, I am delighted to be sharing this rocky ledge with you. So used am I to having my words ignored, I fully expected to be alone. All any leader needs is a single follower. Unifera, you precious creature, I do believe you have freed me from my curse. You trusted my prophecy when no one else ever has. It will not be long before the flood water retreats and gives us back our valley, more verdant than ever before and free from that accursed virus which has been swept away with the bodies of the villagers. Here, let us charge our glasses with kombucha and drink a toast to our wondrous future, Unifera. For the future belongs to the dreamers and the believers. The future belongs to us.